Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Drew's Book Reviews. I got a question for you. Have you ever wondered what you would do if you found yourself caught in the middle of this battle between two intergalactic alien species when all you're trying to do is enjoy your camping trip in the middle of the Canadian wilderness to get away from it all? But you end up getting caught up in this battle anyway. You ever stop to think about what you might do? Well, I'll tell you, we're going to find out what a guy named Greg does when this happens. So if you want to know more, stay tuned. All right, so first off, a great big thank you to Mr. Lawrence White for sending me a copy of your book. Thank you so much. You sent me all three in your Alliance series. So the first one today we are talking about is Ship's Log by Lawrence P. Wright. So as mentioned in the little intro, this is all about spaceships, and the guy's just camping in the woods, and he just wants to enjoy his camping trip. He's ex-military, he's a pilot, he's flying around in his little plane one day around the Canadian wilderness, enjoying his trip with his family, when he encounters this battle going on between two different alien ships. And they're just like here and there and everywhere, and it's just crazy. And they're all over the place, and one of them eventually gets shot down, crash lands into the Canadian wilderness out by Kenora, Ontario, and Lake of the Woods. And of course, Greg goes and rescues this alien. So he saves her life, he brings her back to the camp, and this is kind of where he ends up getting involved in this intergalactic dispute between two warring alien races, one being very, very peaceful with no military who's been forced into this conflict, and the other being this hostile enemy force that does not want to seem to talk at all and not interested in opening these lines of communication. So we really don't know what started this conflict. Greg is hesitant to get involved in the conflict, but the one thing he does want is he really wants to be taken away on the spaceship. So throughout this book and on multiple different occasions, he's asking for a ride in the spaceship because he would love to go on a ride in a spaceship. I mean, who isn't? He's like all like, oh my gosh, I like totally saved your life. Will you take me on your spaceship? I really want to go ride on your spaceship. That'd be so awesome. Yay! Going away on a spaceship ride with an alien. It's a dream come true. I can't believe this is happening. Oh my gosh, I'm going for a ride on a spaceship with an alien. Ah, this is going to be so awesome. But, of course, he keeps being told, no, Greg, I can't take you on a spaceship ride. There's too much at stake here. I can't make any promises. But, you know, she eventually kind of tries to placate him by saying, don't worry. You know, maybe one day you'll get your ride. I mean, in the end, he does get his ride. So that's all I'm going to say. I'll leave it vague and try not to spoil it too much as far as what happens. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of a really fun, entertaining read from start to finish. It's enjoyable, and it's got a lot of interesting aspects to it that I really enjoy. One, I mean, spaceships, aliens. Who doesn't like that if you're a science fiction fan? I know I certainly like that. It's spaceship, it's aliens, it's fun. Woo! So that's definitely a fun aspect of it. What's of note and interesting as well is that I found is that our main alien character, Arlen, she is very human looking, which I've always wondered and speculated on that. It's like, what if aliens look just like us? Not humanoid, not like the Star Trek type aliens with the Klingons and the Romulans and the Ferengi, not like that kind of basic head, arms, legs, torso type shape. I mean, what if they actually looked human, just like you and me? I mean, that would just be like, wow, in the scientific community. I don't think they know what to do with themselves. In fact, I think that would freak them out more than aliens looking different, which is exactly what we would expect, that they would look very different from us. So ultimately the question is, what would it be? What would happen if aliens looked exactly like us humans? So that's a really interesting question. So anyway, so with this whole situation going on and the rescued alien and saved her life, she has to get back to her other ship that has not been damaged, that has been hidden away in another part of Canada. So what we have here is we have Greg. He's basically found himself flying this alien across the country into the province of Alberta, which just happens to be my hometown and my home province. Specifically, the city of Edmonton is referenced, a place that I was born and raised. So, you know, that was of great interest to me. I really thought that was kind of cool, you know, being an Alberta boy. Now, being an Alberta boy, I did have some things with this description of the province of Alberta, and it mainly is about the geographical descriptions of the province of Alberta. So, of course, he's flying in west from Ontario. It's referencing approaching the foothills in the Canadian Rockies right before he lands in Edmonton. Now, the thing is, Edmonton is this prairie city. There are no foothills, no Rocky Mountains around Edmonton. You've got to go at least another 200 kilometers or more west before you even start to get into the more foothilly mountainous regions of Alberta. And the lake in Alberta where this spaceship is buried and hidden is referenced as being 150 miles north of Edmonton. Now, the lake is not actually named, so I don't know for sure, can't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that would be a reference to Slave Lake, Alberta, which is about 158 miles north of Edmonton. So that's in the 150-mile ballpark range. Now, the reason why the kind of geographical descriptions just didn't hit with me, but this did stick out to me as a reader, someone who is very familiar with the area, is that it's referenced that this lake is deep into the foothills of Alberta, 150 miles north of Edmonton. Now, the thing with that is there are no foothills 150 miles north of Edmonton, or in anywhere in a 150-mile radius, really. Like, there are hills. It's not that it's so flat that there's no hills. Like, there are hills, but they're not the geographical thing of foothills. Like, they're not the land formation of foothills anywhere in a 150-mile radius of Edmonton. So most readers really aren't going to care, but I'm very familiar with the area, so it's just kind of something that stuck out to me, that the descriptions of the geography of the area don't actually align with what is actually there for that. Now, of course, if this lake had been 150 miles west of Edmonton, you know, being in the foothills would make a little more sense. Or if perhaps Calgary was really the city that they were supposed to be coming into at that point, because Calgary's kind of nestled right at the base of the foothills in more southern Alberta. But those are just kind of my things. Again, most readers probably aren't going to care. I mean, I've probably read lots of books where the geography and location information isn't really accurate to the locale, and I wouldn't know the difference because I'm not familiar with those other areas. I don't know them, and so most readers probably won't care. You know, and the only other thing that seems kind of crazy to me is, and again, this other aspect may not even be a drawback to the writing. Like, it might not even be a bad thing necessarily. It's just the way our character Greg is. But his kind of obsession with going on the spaceship when he's caught in the middle of this intergalactic war. Like, dude, there are more important things going on. I mean, you just help one alien's enemy, effectively. You could turn all humanity into their enemy and destroy and devastate Earth as a result. Like, do you really want to get all hyper-obsessed about going on a spaceship? And that's, like, all he thinks about the whole time. Okay, maybe not the whole time. That's a bit of an exaggeration. You know, he definitely is focused on helping our Lynn and getting her back to her ship and trying to get things right. But, you know, he keeps bringing up this, I want to go on your spaceship. It's like, dude, there are more important things than getting a spaceship ride. Could we just focus on what's important here? But overall, I am finding it to be an enjoyable, fun read. I am liking it absolutely 100%. It is fun read. So definitely, if you like the science fiction, if you like sci-fi, I've given this one a 7 out of 10 bookworms. So that kind of translates to 3.5 stars on either Goodreads or Amazon. They don't have the option to do half a star, so I am rounding that to 4 stars. But yeah, those are just some of my thoughts on Ship's Log by Lawrence P. White. So thanks again, Lawrence, for sending me a copy of your books. Really appreciate it. I will be continuing the Alliance series with book 2 and 3, and definitely be looking forward to sharing my thoughts on those books. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this review, and hope that you're having a great day. And if you like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, we'll see you next time on the next episode of Drew's Book Reviews. Until then, keep on reading. Bye.